Hello, it's JakkHammer47 here, and today I thought I'd give a little bit of a rundown of my setup. So if we quickly get out of the screen, here we go. Yes, so this is my little setup. So first things first, the thing you're hearing me through is this. This is a Aston Spirit microphone. Currently I have it set on a room mode, I believe. Actually, no, I don't. It's not set on room mode. Hold on a second. Yes, there we go. Now it's back on room mode. That goes into this, which is my desk. Hold on a second. Let's move those papers. Here is my desk. This is my little mixing desk. As you can see, my voice is going in there, and that's where I can monitor it from. Compressing on the inside, going in, and I take out some of the mids around about 1K, just because that doesn't sound very nice to our ears, and I'm going for a nice sounding voice thing. So then it goes into the computer. We'll get to that in a second. For actually listening back and stuff, I have these. These are Samsung GT Studios, or Studio GTs as it says there. And there's two of them because obviously you need to do them. That's strawberry cone. It's actually really nice. And for my screen here I have a Panasonic TV. I can't remember exactly how big it is. I think it's about 32 inches. I'm not quite sure. So now we'll get on to the main thing. This is my computer. This is the case I've been using for a very, very long time. Seriously, I do really like this computer. And I will show you the inside now. So, yes, this is my computer. This is the inside of my computer. Excuse the dust. It's currently not an optimized setup. That's why I'm getting a new case eventually. But yes, this is what I've got in here, as you see for my graphics card, which is probably the most important part of the build, to be perfectly honest. That and the processor, but you can't exactly see the processor. It is a, well, as you see, an EVGA GeForce GTX 1080 Superclocked edition. What that means is it's factory overclocked, and my god is it wonderful. There's literally no other way of going about it. It is wonderful. I have 32 GB of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM. It's 3200 MHz variety, but I only have it running at 2666 MHz because that's currently all I can overclock it to, while the processor is also overclocked. So my processor, underneath the Corsair fuel pump that you can't really see, but it is there. Is a AMD Ryzen 7 1700X. Currently overclocked to 3.6 GHz. The board it's on is a Gigabyte Aorus X370 Gaming 5. I know it has a few other things, but that's pretty much all you need to know exactly for what it is. And over here is my power, which is a Corsair TS75M. It's a semi-modular, so the important stuff is still attached. For my hard drives, I have a whole lot. There's actually one you can't see, which is under the graphics card, just under there. It's a NVMe drive, which I use to boot the system. So here we have my other drives. The very bottom one is my first drive, which is 1 TB, and I currently use that for storing all the videos and stuff on. All the videos when I've done editing them, they all get stored on there. Next one up is my music card drive, because as you know, I have a music tech channel, and I'm a music tech guy. I essentially work in the studios and make bands actually sound half decent. Can't do it themselves. Next we have a 4 TB hard drive. That's what I used to have house all my games. That's essentially Steam and Origin, and probably the Epic Store when I download that as well. That's going to be, they all get routed to there. And to be honest, so will the Microsoft Store as soon as I actually get that properly done. Right now it's just going to the NVMe, but who really cares? Over here we have a SSD. This is the first SSD I got, 120 gigabytes, which I know isn't much, it wasn't my preferred amount, but it came as part of a bundle where I could get the processor and motherboard, and that for cheaper than it would be to buy all those individual parts. And above that I have another hard drive. This one I took out of a Skybox. So yeah, the idea with this was that it's a 2 TB hard drive, quite high quality, and I took it out of the old Skybox, Sky Plus HD box. And yeah, I decided let's make use of that. And essentially it's going to be replacing one of these two down here. Once one of those gets full, well, the idea is I'm going to transfer one of those onto there, and then that's going to be going into the new case when I eventually get it. And then slowly the idea is to upgrade these hard drives and keep going, and it's all good. In terms of fans and cooling for this, for the CPU, I have a Corsair H60. Got a 120mm radiator with a 120mm fan, which is lovely. Got another fan there and another fan there. I have 3 exhaust fans, and I only have 1 intake fan, which hence why there's so much dust. Which essentially the entire case is working on negative pressure right now. And I end up having to clean this out like once a week at the moment, which is annoying to say the least. That's why I'm getting a new case, or one of the reasons I'm getting a new case. So, yeah. Back to the screen! So, yes, I have the microphone nice and close back to how I have it now. And this is my screen, this is my desktop. As you can see, I've got a nice moving image. This is OBS. This is what I use for recording everything. I use it for recording, I use it for streaming. As you can see right now, we are recording, and that's the title and stuff of the last stream I did, which kind of dates this whole thing. Then again, of course it does. This is literally the next video after this stream, so it makes sense. As you can see, I've got all information there. 98 views, 6 followers. Hold on a second, 6 followers? That was 5 last time. Yeah, more people are following me. I've got the chat here, but unfortunately when I'm recording I can't actually see that, so instead I usually have the chat on my iPad. As you can see on here, I have many different scenes and stuff. I have recording gameplay down here, I have the live stuff here. Well, essentially the only difference between those is that I have the little icons come up around here, and they show me, or they pop up on the video when someone's followed, and stuff like that, which is very nice. I have my break stuff here, I have all sorts. It's quite nice. But yes, one of the things I will show you that I think anyone who's getting into streaming and stuff will find really useful is my actual filters and stuff I use. The first one is an expander. This is new with version 23 of OBS. What this essentially does is it's the opposite of a compressor. So while I'm compressing going in, that unfortunately adds noise because it's analog and I don't have anything to get rid of the noise in the desk itself. So what this does is it's a more natural way of getting rid of noise than a noise gate. What this does is you have it set to a certain threshold. So for me, it's minus 49.9, because when I stop talking, it immediately falls below minus 50. I have it set just above minus 50, as you can see here. I could set it to minus 50, but that I've just left it like that because, you know, chaotic neutral and all that. I have the attack set nice and fast, the idea being that then as soon as I start talking it doesn't ramp up to it. The release is kind of how it deals with when it goes off, so I just have it set a little bit more natural, just so it's not just immediately cut off. It's actually got a little bit of a ramp, just so it's natural. Output gain, we don't change it, and the detection is root mean square, which means it goes, instead of going off the peak, because if something peaks, as you can see here, that's the root mean square right there. So that's roughly how loud I roughly am. After that, I have the gain. Now, I increased the gain by 6 decibels just to try and peak it up a little bit more. So I have to take this off my voice. Instead of peaking up around about here, it'd be around about here instead. Essentially what this does is anything that gets through the expander gets added gain onto it, so it's louder. So then I don't have to worry about noise because the expander's already getting rid of it. And if I'm talking, there's no issue with noise anyway because I'm nice and close to the microphone. I'm all it can hear, which is very nice. Next we have a little compressor just around about minus 10, just to ease it off a little bit as it's getting close to the top. Again, this is so that I can be a little bit further away from the microphone. Granted, I'm not getting the bass anymore, but the mic is still nice and up there, and it's more a tonality thing than anything else. As you can see, I don't go above -1. The reason I don't go above -1 is because I have a limiter. The limiter is the most important thing here. This means I can go as loud as I want, and I will never clip. And I'm just going to try and work myself up, and I can go nice and loud. And as you can see, I do not clip. So yes, that is all that. I'll show you my settings for recording as well, just so you can get an idea of what I'm using. So if I go to output, these are my stream settings. Of course, right now the internet isn't very good here. We are upgrading soon to light stream, in which case, or fiber optic rather, that's the easiest way of putting it. And once that happens, I can literally times that by 10. In fact, no, I can times it by 100. And yeah, immediately much better. It'll look way better. So here we have my retro recording format. So I have I'll use the NVEC New just because for recording. Only because when streaming with the old NVEC, with NVEC New, it always uses more than the bitrate I've set. For retro recording, of course, I use max quality, high profile. I'm still adjusting that. I don't know if that's the optimal setting. After all, I do have a 1080. The CQ level, I have that set at 15 at the moment. No idea if that's an ideal setting for the card I'm using, but regardless, hopefully someone can tell me, hey, lower it, make it higher. I don't quite know what it is. I think on default it's 25, and I think online they say set it lower for better quality, and they suggested 15, so that's literally what I'm using it as. But yeah, that's my settings. Audio and stuff is just 320. I use Lightworks for my video editing. It is a free software, free video editor, but the downside of the free version is that you can only upload output a maximum of 720, which is why all the videos aren't full HD. But yes, I have been JakkHammer47. I hope you enjoyed this little look at how I actually do things. I know it's not a gaming video, but I thought this would be quite useful for anyone who wants to get into this sort of stuff and kind of know. I mean, a lot of this stuff is free, but a lot of it I have also bought. I mean, the desk I'm using new is about £300, but I bought mine second-hand, along with the monitors, and I got them both about £150, I believe. I think, I'm not entirely sure. The microphone I'm using is a £300 microphone, roughly, and my computer, I don't even know how much that's worth. I think I tallied it out up as when I bought everything, it was worth about $2,500. Not sure how much that thing is today, because of course all the parts, the price keeps going down and down and down. So, but yes, this is to give an idea of the stuff that I use. So yes, I've been JakkHammer47. I will see you next time. I'm actually going to do a video. I'm actually going to do a gaming video. No idea what it'll be. We'll see. So yes, I've been JakkHammer47, and I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye.